Today we're diving into the freshest AAA games on the Switch. Not rumors, not previews. These are the big budget blockbusters you can play right now. I've been grinding through these heavyweight titles and I'm here to show you what makes each one special. First up, we've got Xuan Yuan Sword 7. And honestly, this one took me by surprise. You know how sometimes you start playing something without many expectations and then suddenly it's 3 a.m.? Yeah, that's what happened here. So I'm running around this version of ancient China, right? But it's not the stuff from your history classes. We're talking about a world where all those wild myths you've heard about are actually real. The fighting in this game feels incredibly smooth, like you're directing your own kung fu movie, but you're actually in it. The controls are super responsive and every battle feels unique. Then there's Astral Chain, and oh boy, this game is wild in the best way possible. You ever try rubbing your belly while patting your head? That's kind of what playing this feels like at first because you're controlling two characters at once. I know, sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing, once it clicks, it's like magic. You're in this super cool cyber world with all these supernatural elements, solving crimes like some sci-fi detective. The whole dual character system takes some getting used to, but when you nail a perfect combo with your Legion, it feels amazing. Plus, the world itself is so detailed that I keep finding new things every time I play through an area. Now let me tell you about Outward, because this game completely flips everything you think you know about RPGs on its head. Look, we're all used to becoming these unstoppable heroes who can carry 500 pounds of cheese wheels, right? Not here. I spent my first few hours just trying not to die from, well, everything. Every time I leave town, it feels like I'm planning an actual expedition. The survival elements are no joke. You've got to think about food, water, rest, and even temperature. It's kind of like camping, except everything wants to kill you. But that's what makes it so satisfying when you actually manage to survive and complete your quests. Speaking of survival, let's talk about Daymare, 1994 Sandcastle. Remember those old-school horror games that had you counting every bullet? This is that vibe, but modern. I'm not gonna lie, I literally caught myself holding my breath while playing this one. You know that feeling when you're watching a horror movie and you're like, don't go in there, don't go in there? Yeah, but you're the one who has to go in there. The atmosphere is incredibly tense, and the sound design is just perfect for creating that horror movie feel. The puzzles actually make you think instead of just pushing boxes around, and finding resources feels really rewarding. Alright, so Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. This game is something else. You ever watch Top Gun and think, I want to do that? Well, here's your chance. The best part is it's not so realistic that you need a pilot's license to play, but it's not so arcadey that it feels fake. The weather effects are actually meaningful. I learned that the hard way when I flew into a storm and completely lost track of where I was. The missions are varied enough to keep things interesting, and the storyline actually had me invested. During the dogfights, I caught myself physically leaning in my chair like that was going to help me turn faster. Hey, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this look at some of Switch's finest games, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these games you've played or are excited to try. Now, let's continue with our lineup. Let's chat about Wolfenstein Youngblood. You know what makes shooting Nazi robots even better? Doing it with a friend. I played through this with my buddy, and we kept coming up with these elaborate plans that would immediately fall apart. But that's half the fun. We're in this alternate history version of 1980s Paris, and it's just wild. The co-op gameplay adds a whole new dimension to the classic Wolfenstein formula, and the banter between the characters actually made me laugh out loud several times. The weapon upgrade system is pretty deep too, giving you lots of options to customize your playstyle. Star Wars Hunters was not what I expected, and I mean that in a good way. Instead of trying to tell some massive Star Wars story, it's like, imagine if they took the Mos Eisley Cantina and turned it into an arena sport. Every character feels different, and I don't just mean they have different abilities. The arenas are so well designed that matches never feel repetitive. You've got to actually think about positioning and timing, not just run and gun. The team dynamics remind me of watching those classic Star Wars moments, where unlikely allies have to work together to succeed.
Two down! How many go?
Then there's Animal Crossing, which is just, it's like a warm cup of tea for your brain. You know what I mean? There's no world to save, no bad guys to defeat. Just you, making your little corner of the world exactly how you want it. I can't tell you how many times I've thought, I'll just play for 10 minutes, and then suddenly it's been 2 hours and all I've done is rearrange my flowers. The game runs on real time, which means there's always something new happening when you check in. Plus, the villagers have so much personality that it feels like visiting old friends. Tales of Seikyu really surprised me with its combat. You ever watch those martial arts movies where everything flows together perfectly? That's what fighting feels like in this game. But what really got me hooked was how natural everything feels. The characters don't just dump exposition on you, they talk like actual people. Every new area I found felt like discovering a new chapter in some amazing book I couldn't put down. The world building is fantastic, and the way the story unfolds keeps you engaged without overwhelming you with too much information at once. Last but definitely not least, we've got Eiyuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes. If you've ever played those classic JRPGs from back in the day, you'll feel right at home. But don't think this is just a nostalgia trip. The whole game is like this gorgeous painting come to life. And every character you recruit isn't just another soldier for your army. They've got their own stories, their own personalities. The turn-based combat has so many layers to it that I'm still discovering new strategies. Plus, building your fortress and seeing it grow as you recruit more heroes is super satisfying.
Yes.
Hey, let me know what you think about these games. Maybe you've played some and have a different take, or maybe something here caught your eye. Drop a comment, let's chat about it. See you in the next one.